Welcome to The Daily. It's Tuesday, July 19th with Simon Borg. I'm Jason Seguini. Some more action from the World Football Challenge last night. Manchester City at Vancouver. Vancouver actually had a 1-0 lead into halftime. They looked pretty good till Manchester City put it on in the second half, and a phenomenal goal from Wright-Philips won it for them late in the game.
But in fairness, at halftime is when the subs started rolling in. So for Whitecaps fans, they'll be content having that 1-0 lead and winning the first half, if you will, on a good goal by Camilo, helped by a deflection. Camilo playing out on the left wing, but a man of the match performance for the Brazilian, and a great performance by Eric Hasley as well up top.
And Vancouver fans got to see the debut of Mustafa Jarju, their new designated player. And speaking of designated players, Simon, there are some rumors now. I guess they're not rumors anymore because Vancouver came out and said it. Owen Hargreaves is on their radar.
Ever since Hargreaves officially left Manchester United, the rumors had been swirling about interest from Toronto and Vancouver, the two MLS Canadian teams. For the first time, though, Jeff Mallett, owner of the Whitecaps, comes out and says the Whitecaps are indeed interested in the 30-year-old. And it would make an interesting fit for Vancouver because I think they could use a guy of Hargreaves' talent and vision to really pair up with Gershon Kofi in the middle of the midfield.
A great player who's played for England in the World Cup. Hargreaves has also dealt with a bunch of knee problems, so much so that he has YouTube videos now of his training sessions to show that he is back at full fitness. So we're going to move on, Simon. News yesterday came of the matchday roster that Hans Backe will take to face Manchester United in the All-Star game.
Some very interesting selections by the Swedish coach of the New York Red Bulls, but he was very respectful of the fan choices as well. In the first 11, the fan choices, and the text vote winner, Matt Beasler, he took him as well, which was a little bit of a surprise. But he picked a lot of speedy players. He has a plan up his sleeve in how to hurt, quote-unquote, Manchester United. He's faced them in the Premier League before, and he has a plan. He wants to use Bobby Convey, Corey Ash, Landon Donovan, and Omar Cummings of the Colorado Rapids, the speedy forward, which he took over Charlie Davies.
Well, Simon, you said he's faced them before. He's actually 2-0, and he's the first person who will remind you of that. We're going to move on to a couple other stories from yesterday. Austin Tues, the young left winger from the New York Red Bulls, gets shipped out to DC United. This is the second half of the trade, which sent an international spot to the Red Bulls over the weekend. Austin Tues, the player to be named later.
Many Red Bulls fans disappointed in the move because they saw a lot of promise out of Austin Tues, a lot of creativity and flair on that left wing. But Austin Tues now moving to DC United, and he feels that at New York he wasn't getting a chance, and it's difficult for young players to break into a team that wants to win now.
All right, well, that's a trade that was completed, a trade that is in the air, so to speak, is Kenny Cooper potentially going back to Dallas. Schellas Hyman coming out and saying, we have interest in Kenny Cooper, but what is the price that Portland wants?
Jason, interesting to see an MLS manager basically admitting interest in another team's player. Kenny Cooper is a former FC Dallas player. There were reports of FC Dallas trying to acquire him this past offseason. He's a native of Dallas, so it makes a lot of sense also because FC Dallas, they've been looking for a center forward now for a year and a half. There's a void to fill there. Now, the question is, what does Portland want from FC Dallas? There's been a lot of interest in his defenders, in his back line, but Hyman says, hands off my back line.
All right, well, we talked about that trade and more on Extra Time Radio yesterday. We had Hans Backe talking about the All-Star game. We also had Ryan Giggs talking about the big matchup in Seattle for Manchester United on Wednesday night. Should be a good one. You can get that on iTunes or Buzzsprout, and we'll be back on The Daily tomorrow.